so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you're joining me from. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Accept my greeting according to your time zone. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime I upload a video. You can be among the first to receive it. Then go to the comment section at all times. Leave your comment, drop your contribution. If you have suggestions, make it out there. If you have any criticism, put it down on the comment section. It will make us to get better, presenting you a better program. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Share the program on your platform. Share the broadcast, share to family and friends, share it to anybody who is close to you. Share the program, please kindly share it to anybody that is close to you. Share so that people can join us. Share it to family and friends, share it to your neighbors, share it on any WhatsApp group you belong, wherever you belong. Share the program so that we can be able to hit it on. I appreciate everybody that have joined. Wherever you have connected from, I appreciate you. Everybody that is supporting on this platform today, I appreciate every one of you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being there all the time. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for reaching out. I appreciate every one of you. Thank you so much for being there. May Chukwu Okukabiyama continue to guide and protect every one of you. Today is Sunday. Remember, every Sunday we come here to worship as Biafrans. We come here every Sunday after we go to our various churches to worship. After worshiping at the church, we still come back here to worship as Biafrans. I am also a Christian. I go to church on Sunday to worship, but my worship on Sunday at the church does not make me to forget that I have to worship as a Biafran. That is why after worshiping on the church, I still have to come here and worship with my brothers and sisters in our Biafran way. As you all know, that Biafra is our religion and remains our religion, and there's nothing anybody can do about that. We are first Biafran before we became a Christian. We are first Biafran before we attach ourselves to anything at all on the planet Earth. That is why we must continue to defend that name Biafra, because that is where our future lies. That is where our hope lies. That is where our strength lies. We must continue to spread this gospel so that it can be able to reach out to everybody. For those who are coming to this platform for the very first time, this is an auto-piloted platform. Auto-piloted by Chukwu Okukabiyama himself, under the spokesmanship of Mazi Simon Ekpa and on the leadership of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is where we stand. We speak the truth and nothing but the truth. Our main objective here is to encourage fellow Biafrans, to advise fellow Biafrans, and continue to debunk every lie against the genuine Biafrans, against the agitators, against our spokesperson Mazi Simon Ekpa, against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and against Biafra at large. That is what we do on this platform. In this platform, we don't push propaganda, neither do we blackmail people. In this platform, we don't promote hate, we don't preach hate, and we don't attack people. What we do here is to encourage ourselves as Biafrans and make our case known to the world. There is a comment. If you want to join me on the platform, you have the right to join the platform. All you have to do is to click on the permission side. I will permit you, and you come in and join me on the stage for you to make your case. If you want to be invited, there's the invitation level there. Click the link for the invitation, and I will let you come in to state your case and say what you have in your mind. It doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter if you have a different idea from what I have in mind. If you have a different belief, you have a different stance, it doesn't stop you from coming up. If you have a superior argument, you can click on the link, you come in and make your argument known to the world. We are here to set the record straight. That is what we do, and we will continue to do so. Today being Sunday, Our worship today, we are going to speak on a very important topic that is going to be a kind of a word of advice to our fellow Biafrans as we have been speaking all this while. If you look at the topic I wrote there, I say Biafra must say no to sabotage. Say no to sabotage. Say no to saboteurs. And say no to gossip. The Biafran people must say no to sabotage. We must say no to saboteurs. And we must say no to gossip. As we get into this very topic, every one of you must know what sabotage is. When you talk about sabotage, you know what sabotage is. When you are standing as a hindrance, when you are obstructing something. If you see where somebody is doing something and you're obstructing it, you are obstructing it. You are standing as a hindrance towards somebody's progress or towards something somebody's doing. You are trying to draw somebody back and slow the movement of somebody. That is sabotage. Obstructing someone. When you are obstructing somebody who is making progress. When you are obstructing someone who is planning to do something to move ahead. When you do such kind of act, that is an act of sabotage. You call it sabotaging. Every Biafra must stand up and make sure you do not participate in any act of sabotage. You must be very, very careful in what you do, what you say, who you listen to, the way you say it, how you act, how you react, so that you will not be acting as a sabotage to what Biafran people are doing. And anybody who is performing the act of sabotage is called a saboteur. Anybody who is performing the act of sabotage is called a saboteur. I hope you can understand it very, very well. You know, this word saboteur, some of us abuse the use of that word. Some of us abuse the use of that word saboteur. We use it carelessly, we say it, we don't know what it means. The people who are saboteur is people who are sabotaging whatever you are doing. You are named a saboteur when you become a sabotage, when you are acting in a way that you are hindering people, when you become an obstruction, when you become a hindrance, when you become a distraction. As soon as you become a distraction and you become an obstruction and you begin to create trouble, you have become a saboteur. That is the meaning of saboteur. When you come to the aspect of gossip, you know what gossip is. Gossip is when you send that information you are not sure of. Gossip when you talk about things you are not sure of. When you talk about things you cannot defend. When you carry along hearsay, they said. Somebody called me and said. You push out information that you cannot verify. That is gossip. These three words are very important and we must have to pay attention to it at this moment that we are in. I am preaching this message because of what is happening today. Because of what is happening today. At this stage that we are, I am praying seriously that every Biafra, mainly the autopiloted Biafrans who are autopiloted, I am praying earnestly that every one of us that has stood the ground up to today, that every one of us will march into Biafra united. I do not want any member of autopilot to lose his crown or her crown. It will be a thing of joy to see every member of autopilot march into Biafra, raise the flag of Biafra, receive the crown of glory. That is why I am preaching this message I'm preaching today. Today is Sunday, a day that our Christian brothers, Christian sisters go to church to worship Chukwuokike. I am a Christian myself. I have worship in a Christian way, and here I'm worshiping with my brothers and sisters as a Biafran. I do that every Sunday. We must stay away from sabotage. We must stay away from any act of sabotage. I have explained to you what it is. Anything you are doing that is setting the struggle back, whatever information you are passing, whatever question you are asking, that you know that this question you are asking is creating problem, whatever thing you know you are doing that is being an obstruction to people who are genuinely working, that is an act of sabotage. And when you indulge in such kind of an act, when you engage in an act that delay us from what we are doing, when you engage yourself in an act that distracts Biafra, instead of us talking about how to march into Biafra land and occupy it the way we are marching, instead of us focusing on the direction that we are going, instead of us focusing on the Janjaweed, the enemy, you begin to drag our attention away from that right thing. You make us to begin to talk about you. You distract us. We spend the time we will use to educate the world about what is happening in Biafra land. You make us to use that time to talk about you. When you engage in some distraction, you are a saboteur. That is what you are. That is what you are. When you stand as a hindrance to the progress of the coming of the kingdom of God on earth, you are a saboteur. You must have to be very, very careful. Any Biafran, wherever you are today, be very careful what you say, what you do, how you act. For there will be consequence for every action that you take. Biafrans that are listening to me and those that are going to listen in time to come, do not pay attention to any sabotage. Do not participate in any sabotage, and do not listen to any saboteur or gossiper. And as I said before, in this very actualization of Biafra that we're in this restoration of Biafra that we have entered, we are gradually taking our land to ourselves. We are gradually taking back our own land, the Biafra. It has kicked off. If you don't know it now. We have resumed taking back our land. You know how many years it took them to overtake our land and overrun it. You know how many years the Zoological Republic have been managing our land. It is not something you're going to take back overnight. The process has started, and we are taking back our land inch by inch. At this time, we don't need any distraction. We don't need any sabotage from anybody. At this stage, Chukwu Okike Abiama, who is in charge of autopilot, has given every single one of us a responsibility. My own very self that is speaking to you here, I have my own responsibility. And my own responsibility in autopilot is to be on the media and preach the gospel of Biafra, to advise Biafran people, to educate Biafran people, to relate with Biafran people, to make our case known to the world, to debunk every lie against the Biafran people. That is where my own calling lies, and that is where I stand. Every other, there are so many sections in this very movement that we're at today. There are people who are in administrative section, administering everything that is happening. There are people who are in the security section. There are people who are in different departments. Wherever you find yourself, remain there and be working on that. There are some people who are members, watching close, giving their vote for things to go right. There are people who are sharing the videos. As I'm making this broadcast, they are sharing. I have some of my viewers here who are always on this program, and they are sharing this program to very many people. That is their own section of call, and they are following it earnestly and closely. Wherever you find yourself that your call comes, please, I beg you in the name of Chukwu Karima, hold that call and pursue it. When you leave your area of jurisdiction and you are interfering in another section where your call is not, you are actually sabotaging the struggle, and that makes you a saboteur. When you are prognosing into an area that you are not supposed to prognose into, area that you're not supposed to talk about, you are busy investigating an information that nobody invited you for. You are busy asking questions that even if you get the answer, you can't do anything with it. You are busy making the invitation that even if you find what you are seeing, if you are giving an answer you are asking, you will not make any impact, neither will you do anything. When you are creating such kind of distraction, you are a saboteur. When you are performing any act of sabotage, by the time you begin to drag us back, we use the time we are going to use to talk about the zoo, the time we are going to use to educate the world, we use it to begin to address your own issue, address the damage you have caused. That is an act of sabotage, and that makes you a saboteur. Every one of us must be careful what we say and what we do. When you are a member of autopilot, as I said, autopilot is a movement. Autopilot, we are a movement. Every single person in Biafra land, we are all autopiloted. In the era that we have passed the era of oath. We have passed the era of say you didn't take oath or you take oath. No. In the era that we are now, Chukwu Okekabiyama himself is taking charge. He is the one giving people assignment on what to do. And in that autopiloted stage that we are, whatever assignment you are given, wherever area you found yourself, remain on that area and perform excellently. Do not wait for any endorsement. Do not wait for any promotion. Do not wait for anyone to come and clap for you. Do not wait for any praises from anybody. This message is very, very important because of what is happening today. We have crossed a whole lot of stages. At this dying minute, when we want to, at this dying minute, at this time that we have stepped into Biafra, we have stepped into Biafra, clearing the ground for everybody to settle down. Now, the gossip is now raising their ugly heads again. Raising their ugly heads. How can you be talking about things that you know nothing about? How can you be prognosing on area that you know you are not called in? An area that you know that even if you get the information you are searching for, you will do nothing with it. So why are you troubling yourself? You open your mouth by yourself and you say you have no position in the autopilot. Even though you are autopiloted in your own way, maybe by encouraging people, maybe by sharing videos, maybe by sensitizing people. In one way or the other, maybe you have one call or the other. But when it comes to the administration of the autopilot, you are not in that call. You are not in that area. And you are asking questions that is not meant for you. You are prognosing and investigating things that has nothing to do with you. You are only trying to sabotage the struggle. And that sabotage you are creating makes you a saboteur. Do not allow yourself to be used. Someone who opened his mouth and said, you have no role to play in autopilot. You are not occupying any position. You are not occupying any position of relevance. None. You are just like every other autopilot that we are. You are just like every member of autopilot as we all are. But there are people that have some sensitive positions. The administrative section. You are not part of the administrative section. Why are you bent on prognosing on things that you're not supposed to talk about? You are not in the administration. And you are asking questions about every garden thing, including the security of the Biafran people. Are you for real? Are you for real? And there is one language every Biafran have to be careful with. There is one language everybody, there is one commodity this is one of the reasons why we have to get out of the zoo as fast as we can. In the Zoological Republic, they take advantage of every situation. In Zoological Republic, people's mind have been framed in such a way that every single thing that comes out, they use it as a guy. They use it to defraud people. They use it to scam people. Look at when they were changing their money. The changing of money turned to a scam. Look at our ESN. Our ESN have been used to scam people time and time again. Mazin Nandekano even made a broadcast on that. Our ESN is being used to scam people. They use it for scam. And some people who are supposed to be Biafran, to protect it, they are using that name ESN to scam people. You must be very careful, people you listen to. That is why it is not every rain that fall that people bring out something out to collect. It's not every rain that fall you bring your bucket out to pick. No. We know the contraption called Nigeria, that the contraption have framed people's mind fraudulent. The mind of people in that contraption are so fraudulent that they take advantage of every single opportunity. They use it to scam people, including using ESN. Today, the cheapest language they are using to catch people or to cash in when they want to distract you, they'll be telling you about the men on the ground. Today, the common language in the mouth of every idiot along the road will tell you men on the ground, men on the ground. Every one of you that is watching, you must have been hearing that title, men on the ground, men on the ground, including those who does not have anything to do with this, including those who doesn't know anybody. They will tell you men on the ground, our men on the ground, our men on the ground. Ask them, ask yourself, who are these men on the ground? Which men on the ground are you talking? Are you talking about the criminals on the ground? Are you talking about the cultists? Are you talking about the gingerweed? Which men on the ground are you talking about? Don't be carried away when you hear our men on the ground. The only man that speaks about men on the ground and it moves me and it's supposed to move you is our spokesperson, Master Simon Ekpa, which all of us have chosen. When you are hearing the men on the ground, today, we know that there are so many men on the ground. Men's. Let me use that word, whether correct or not. There are so many men's on the ground. But out of the men's on the ground, the only men on the ground we know are the men that Mazi Simon Ekpa introduced to us. The men that Mazi Nandekano kept intact, the ESN. The ESN that Mazi Nandekano kept intact and Mazi Simon Ekpa have been protecting them and securing them all this while. They are the men we know that are on the ground. But you can see some criminals capitalizing on that name every time they say men on the ground, men on the ground. Even some of them, some people will take a phone and call you abroad. From the zoological, they call you, we are men on the ground. It has become a common language. Somebody will pick a call and call, they say, we are men on the ground, and begin to tell you cock and bull stories. And if you are not sound, if you are not mentally disciplined, you begin to talk trash. The only man that have the accurate information